Hey everyone, Dr. Brad here. And for today's live video, I wanted to continue our discussion about the role that we have as parents in our kids' healthy lifestyle habits, and in particular, healthy eating habits. And we've talked about our, our own example of our relationship to our food and what impact that has on our kids' relationship to food. And that's in terms of our exampling, that we really listen to our body, that we really pay attention to what's working for us, what's not working for us, how much is the right amount. Then we also talked about our level of presence, of being present to our bodies, to ourselves, and as we eat, and to our choices, and how vital that is to example for our kids as well. And that's part of that, that whole example process we're talking about. So today I want to dive a little bit into more of a tactical discussion, or get down into the nuts and bolts and some specifics we can put into place. And in particular, we're going to talk about the family meal. And this means sitting down at a table with the whole family around, parents, whatever that may be, kids, whoever those are, and eating, enjoying, and having a meal together. Now, there's a ton of research about the family meal, and I'm going to cover a couple of things. But basically, what they found when they studied the family meal is that kids are much more likely to make healthy food choices, certainly. But other things like kids do better in school when they have a regularity of family meals, or as the number of family meals in a week goes up, kids do better in school, grades-wise. We also see with teenagers a significant decrease in the incidence of alcohol use and drug use and other behavioral issues. Now, that's just the family meal. And you could say that has to do with, nutrition. I mean, potentially, if they're eating better nutrition, maybe they're less likely to have behaviors that are problematic. But I think there's also another level of reality there, that there's more nutrition happening in our meals and in our meal times than just what we're putting into our body. So the family meal is so key and so critical, but there's a couple of things that are important to make it actually useful. And so the first is that consistency or regularity. I mean, ideally, in a perfect world, we would do that just about every day, every meal, really, would be ideal. But certainly, minimally, once a day, a family dinner, family breakfast, whatever, works for your guys' family. Dinner is a nice one because it tends to be at the end of the day. So it can be like a good time to come together and sort of, digest the experiences of the day together. So that consistency, that regularity of the family meal is ideal. Some other aspects is that it's at a table of some sort or another. So not in a car, not standing around the countertop in the kitchen, not in the living room on the couch with the TV on, none of that stuff, but around the table. And, in talking about the TV on, that's another vital piece that makes it be a family meal that falls into that category of all these benefits, is that screens have to be off. So phones away, no TVs on, no tablets, no computers. If music is playing, it's background music, so that the focus is really on being together with each other. There was a study that somebody just told me about recently in one of my podcast interviews, that 64% of kids who were surveyed in this poll basically said they felt like the parents' screen, so tablet, cell phone, that type of thing, was more important to the parent than the kid was. I mean, that's like shocking, or more important. So it's really that's a really vital part of the family meal, and that presence is screens off, screens away, nothing like that going on. And so when we start doing that, we start noticing different experiences. Oh, and one of the other key points to a successful family meal is it has to be a low stress environment. So that means, and this is going to be, sort of surprising or hard to do for some people, but that means no more of those fights around what you eat or what the kids eat, how much to eat. No more, finish your plate or you can't have this. No more eat these things to get these things. That has to be handled away from the family meal, not during it. Because the more we can de-stress that environment, the more we can make it an enjoyable or at least a non-combative environment, the more of those benefits we will be able to get. Now, there's lots of things you can do if that part of it's a struggle, if your kids aren't wanting to eat the healthy things you're putting down, if they're only wanting certain things. And we can get into some of those tactics and strategies down the road further. But the key of what I want to sort of really hammer home on this one is how it needs to be a low stress environment. Those battles can't be happening at the family meal, or they shouldn't be, to be able to really extract that benefit from it. And, there's all kinds of other benefits. Kids feel more self-esteem. They feel, they have an outlet for their experiences of the day, and that type of thing. If everybody has a chance to share, sit together. Some other things that can be beneficial if you're just starting out or if this is a challenge is to have a predefined time break. So it may not be that you eat at exactly the same time, 6:30 or whatever, but when everyone is called to the dinner table and sits down, to know that you're going to sit there until everyone is done, or at least for a certain period of time that's agreed upon beforehand. That way, it's not like a rush through and get out of there kind of thing. And some of these specifics, even better, can be handled outside, like I said, outside the family dinner, if you can have some sort of a family meeting time to handle like those types of aspects and things. So this kind of really follows along the theme that we've been covering these last several sessions about being present, about being an example. And this really gathers everybody into that arena of being present by sharing that space together and that time of digestion of your day, the slowing down often, because often we're moving fast and really busy. And so to take that time together really demands, honestly, in a lot of cases, somebody shuffling a schedule and really slowing the pace down. But that's so vital on so many levels. I mean, for family life, for kids, feeling like they're more important perhaps than the screen, but also for our enjoyment of the food and for our ability to digest that food and take in all that life energy, all the nutrients, really, all the vibration from that food, to be able to be present to what we're eating, and what of those things we want to eat and how much, and what we might feel the best or satisfy the needs we have at those times, for our own nutrition. So some of you certainly are doing a lot of this, and I commend you. That's great. And some of you, this may be something that's not even on your radar. And so what I encourage you to take the next steps, everyone who's listening to this, is start putting more attention on it. So if you're someone who does this regularly, see if there's another meal you can throw in there during the week. If that's not a thing you need to do, then start looking at what you're doing during those family meals. Are they a no stress environment? Are they a no screen environment? Does everybody stay together until everyone's complete with the meal? Refine those edges and see where you can even improve the quality of that experience. And for those of you who maybe aren't doing family meals at all, or maybe aren't doing them very often, start looking at adding, even if it's just one per week, where you all sit down together and have that meal. And I know schedules are crazy these days. You have kids and can be at sports and after school things. Parents have all kinds of various schedules. So it may take some creative thinking, but it's totally worth it because everyone benefits from it. So the statistics and the studies they do are on kids. But as a parent, I know, and I'm sure you know, that having those regular times with your kids is going to be so valuable too. I mean, none of us want to, that's like heartbreaking almost to hear a study where 64% of kids felt like the screen was more important than them in their parents' lives. And none of us want to be that parent. So if we can really carve out these specific times in our schedules and make them regular, it'll go a long way to our family life being more satisfying and really to our kids making healthier lifestyle choices and setting them up for success down the road. It also carries over in terms of they'll look to do that with their family because that's what they did. And so we have the opportunity as parents to really instill habits and lifestyle choices with our kids by what we choose to do that they can take with them their whole lives. And we can have an impact on even our future generations, our grandkids and great grandkids, by what we do with our kids now. So look to increase your either number of family meals and or the quality of those family meals, the structure of those family meals, the no stress environment of those family meals. Look to make those interventions or changes in terms of who eats what and how much at times outside of the family meal. Have discussions, and like I said, we can talk about some of those tips and strategies down the road about how to do that in a no stress way, how to have your kids start eating more of the healthy stuff and less of the unhealthy stuff, or not turn their noses up. But that's a whole other topic, really. This one I really wanted to focus on this one thing. My goal is for you to have really an actionable item, something you can really put in place. Start looking at your schedule, looking at the calendar today, now, as soon as we're done with this, and look at where can you add more of that family meal, where can you improve or up that quality, leave the screens aside, really focus on each other, talk, visit, everybody sharing, not just the parents grilling the kids on what they did today. The parents can even be sharing what their day was like and what experiences they've been having in a relevant way, based on the age of your kids and so forth. But if you stay at it and stay consistent, improving the quality, increasing the quantity, you will start to notice differences, one, in what your kids are eating and how that's affecting them, but also in those behavioral and social issues, not issues, but social concepts of self-esteem and feeling better and not necessarily turning to risky behaviors, having better body image, having less obesity, all that kind of stuff. It's all improved by the family meal. So I highly encourage you. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to this message today. We're going to make a difference for the next generation. The goal is to make the next generation the best generation. And if you want to learn more about what we're up to, you can check us out on the Kids Eating Broccoli podcast. You can find us on Facebook, Kids Eating Broccoli, kidseatingbroccoli.com, iTunes, Stitcher, all those great places. DrEllisor.com, and the Dr. Ellisor Trusted Health Advisor Facebook page as well. So check this out. I'm going to keep dropping these bits and pieces from what I've been learning from my own journey as a parent, my own journey as a health provider, my own expertise in those fields, and then I've been interviewing these other experts, getting tons of value, and I'm going to start sharing that with you guys on these little bites. So go do that and drop some comments below. How's it going? Are you doing more family meals? Have you noticed a difference? Is that something you already do great at? Is that something that is off the radar completely? And we can even start talking a little bit about that. I'll be looking at the comments and questions on the stream later throughout the day and even into the next days. So feel free to do that. I'll hop on there and see what questions or comments I can respond to and answer. All right, you guys take care now. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.